the Knicks taking on the Cavaliers here in this one. And, well, we saw the Knickerbockers here coming in against the Cavs so far. What have you thought of the Knicks so far this season? Both teams come in with a 1-2 record currently, but the Knicks have somehow found their way to earn favoritism here in this one. I didn't know the Knicks were so good as to be favored here against the Cavaliers. Well, I guess the Cavaliers, have a few issues, injury issues certainly coming into the game. So that's probably a little bit of the question here surrounding them. But are you guys really impressed with these Knicks? Too much right now. Both teams 1-2. The Knicks have a road victory so far this season, and well, Cleveland they're 0-2 so far. So, or well, 0-2 at home. They have, like I said, they do have a victory so far, but they didn't cover the spread in that game. Cleveland's 0-3. So I didn't know the Knicks had kind of turned it around and become better than the Cavaliers all of a sudden. Doesn't it doesn't quite. I'm not sure if I believe it. So let me check. Maybe I'm missing something with these injuries. Maybe you guys can help me out on it. Tell me if I know. We know Jared Allen's had some issues here to start the season, and that's kind of left Cleveland a little bit shorthanded, especially defensively, where the Cavaliers are, expected to be so good, and he'll be missing again. Garland is out. You got D. Mitch as a game time decision as well. So maybe these injuries are just piling up. We know Ricky Rubio's out. If you even consider him to be a factor anymore on that, he is an active player, so he's in there taking minutes certainly. So no injuries really from the Knicks. It looks like they maybe are relatively healthy. So maybe that's it too. But Cavaliers are still going to possess a pretty strong defense here. I would think everybody except for Brunson probably would be, you know, under their numbers. But Blake says he likes it to go over here in this one. I would imagine a few guys on Cleveland have decent matchups to help that over. I would think Karis LeVert certainly can get over his averages, and even a guy like Struess can probably have a pretty good game. But I think one thing about the Knicks, they've got some defense, better defense, improving defense, if you will. We'll see. I mean, um, you know, uh, I guess defense comes and goes sometimes as far as when you want to play it. And I do, like I said, Blake says right there, over. Here's Ray on the Knicks. Ferner wants to go over as well. I mean, this one is kind of like one of the lower scoring totals, really, if you think about what we've been dealing with so far. And we got 214 ish here at this point. 214 and a half, 215, maybe even here at this point. And well, I better make the call here. I'm taking Cleveland, you guys. I mean, unless I'm missing, yes, I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm missing probably some players right here from Cleveland, is what it feels like for me. But I'm going to take my chances with Levert and Struess, and I don't think the matchups are great for some of the front court for the Cavs, but it's not great for the Knicks either. I think when you got Mobley, Okoro can might be okay defensively too against a guy like Randall. So I'm not sure the Knicks can. Uh, I respect what you guys are saying about the over, but Fernando's going over too. He's leading to the Knicks. All right, man. Sounds like I'm not. And hey, look, I could use some NBA winners. It feels like I'm making the right call and then getting beat at the end. So let's take a look at the Cavs. I'm taking the Cavs. I'm taking points at home against a Knicks team that, okay, whatever happened, uh, I don't want to say it was not. It was. Hey, maybe there is something to this Knicks club, but to go on the road, what they score against New Orleans, 87 points in that game. getting 3.5 against the Pelicans a couple of nights ago, 3 nights ago. That's bad. Now they did have a win over the Hawks. That was their win on the road, 126 to 120. So third straight road game here for the Knicks on this trip, and they're a road favorite here at the Cavaliers. Yeah, the Cavaliers lost to the Pacers. They lost to OKC. Two straight road losses right now, and like I said, they lost against or they beat Brooklyn, but we're just 1.5 point favorites, so they are 0-3 against the spread. I'm taking the Cavs. I don't think the Cavs have fallen off the face of the earth. Okay, they got injuries here in this one. I get that. I still think the Cavs are. Uh, I thought they were a better team than the Knicks. Well, I mean, maybe in the power rankings they're close, whatever. I don't trust the Knicks right now to get anything done on the road as a favorite. Good job, Knicks. Made some nice games so far. Knicks 7-1 against the spread. Last 8 in the series definitely favors the Knicks series history here in this one. But I'm taking the Cavs, guys. The San Antonio Spurs going to take on the Phoenix Suns here on the road, and the Suns are favored by 17 and a half. 7.5? What? Didn't they see this San Antonio team last time out look absolutely awful? Look, maybe we could chalk it up to the Spurs still a work in progress with their rookie. Are they bringing him along slowly with the 20 minutes, or is he just, maybe not quite ready to handle a full workload right now? We know they can maybe the Spurs do a little things a little bit differently with Pop, but um, you got to wonder. I mean, if Wemby, we're gonna. It's hard to make fun of the guy if you're not putting him in the game, but look, they're taking their time with him. Certainly, it feels like with Pop and all that. But geez, if you're going to go out there and lose games by 40 points, what have you got to lose? Now they were playing the Clippers in that game. Look, they do have the win. They beat the Rockets in the battle of the worst teams in the West, so they did win that game. It was in overtime. And they came back a couple nights later and lost that first road game, that first true road game to the Clippers. So maybe the Spurs will be a little better off here. You'd think that against the Suns, they could have some success for Sohan and Johnson, I would think, and even Zach Collins here could, you know, have some success. But still, feels like the Suns or the Spurs are getting lessons out here to a certain extent. Here's Joey. His J is lit up like the sun's orange. And here's Fernando, he wants to go over. He's also going to lay the points with the Suns. So is Werner. And Ray will do it in the first half. I want to say hello to Lex Steele. Want to say hello to Reginald Luker as well. Nice to see you guys. Where you been? I missed you. Thanks for stopping by. All right. And so this one has definitely gone up. Was I saw as low as 6.5 here? I think any lower than that. Uh, some of the openers were as high as 8, but there were also 6.5. So I guess we're kind of right in the middle here at this point. You want to trust the Spurs to a certain extent, like. Um, they know what they're doing. So if they're going to get a 40-point loss, they can come back and hang in the next game against a Suns team that definitely has some injuries here. Beal is out. Booker, game time decision. And, well, you are a big favorite here for so Booker could rest again if he is needing it here. And Damian Lee also out. So there has been some injuries here uh, right now, at least for the Suns, but they still, you got a guy like Durant. The matchups are fine. The Spurs, yeah, Wembanyama, will he be a shot blocker? Maybe he'll be a defensive for one day. Put some more weight on, whatever. But right now, there's not really much of a defensive presence at all. Right now, I would think in this San Antonio lineup and be all systems go for me. I'll take the Suns to cover the number here at this point. I'm going to look to the Spurs. I think they'll be getting some value here soon. And it may be even starting tonight. Maybe this line is just a tad too high off that 40-point loss here. You want to think that the Spurs can start to put it together. We lost. We were on them last game, I think, against the Clippers, and got blown out in a free play. But I'm going to take the Suns here to get this money as a favorite. Yeah, I take some goofy dogs, but this ain't not today. I'm gonna roll the favorite in this one. I want to play the Suns, the Spurs certainly in spots and think that they can come around. But reported steam did come in on the under here in this one. Open as high as 232, and now we're seeing it down, in fact, to as low as 224 and a half. So definitely been a big move here to the under on that reported steam. And here's Ferner. He says, I've got the Clippers at -6 already. Oh, he's ready to go on the next game. Oh, jeez. Let me. What am I doing? I'm messing up the video here on this pick, but make sure. And here's the thing, you guys don't forget. I appreciate you guys putting your plays in. I like to know what you have. I want to show everybody. I want to show the world, or at least our 4 or 5 dozen friends here. Or by the time it gets viewed, our show's still getting viewed a few hundred times. So your pick is getting viewed by a few hundred people probably. And each game, I even say that, even each game is broken up into pieces. So when you put your play in the chat and I flash it on the screen, hundreds of people are seeing what you had, and you are part of another video where I talk about the Spurs and the Suns, for example, and we have a video, and your picks get on there. So remember that. Not that it's not a big deal, but that's part of the feature of the show. All right, so we got the big news today with the Clippers. Now, we don't think James Harden is going to make the road trip to make sure he's in the lineup here tonight, but I don't know. He's probably got to be pretty excited to get out of Philadelphia if it was really that bad of a situation for him and get to the Clippers where he can hang out with the likes of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and the Clippers can all of a sudden say, hey, we already knew we were contenders in the Western Conference, but now we really can be thrown into the mix with the top teams in the West and put us right up there, certainly with the Denvers of the group. And I don't know, who else do you want to throw in there right now? The Warriors certainly can be a part of the group. I don't think you could put the Suns in there right now. I don't think you could put the Mavs in there. I don't think you could put the Lakers in there necessarily right now. So who could we be forgetting in the West? I don't think anybody, right? I'm not putting OKC. I'm not putting Dallas. I'm not putting New Orleans. I'm not putting Utah. None of those teams right now. You've got Denver. You got not even Memphis, even if they're on top of the division right now. So the Clippers could be that number 2 team here in the West with the addition of James Harden now tonight against Orlando. Remember, uh, look, I think Orlando long term, this group can be really talented. Especially, I think they have the defensive wherewithal, but it just takes so long to develop everything, man. If you could turn the clock forward, I think Orlando, um, man, they just feel like they can be a team of the future, but it'll take time. They'll have to, and look, Bancaro, he's been bad. He's been not too good actually. So we want to talk him up and say what the potential superstar so far this season. It's like well, you hope that he's just off to a slow start a little bit. That this isn't what we're gonna get because it hasn't looked too good actually here. But I don't know. For me in this one, if it's a Clippers game and um, Kawhi's in. Zubats game time decision here tonight. I'm probably going to end up on the under. I don't know if I can get away from this. What is the total right now? Two. Oh, yeah, that's not even the total on screen. I've already missed the boat. So I better just give it out as my free play. And I better update it to the worst possible line so that when you get to the window, if you like the game, maybe you like it the other way now. Look at this move. It was 221.5 when I typed these things in, and I got up late today. I was like 8 game card. I've already started my football work on. I start working on that. When I'm watching late NFL games, so I'm already so I'm just like, well, uh, look at some of these a basketball game, type them in 221. Now we're down to 217.5 today. Big move here to the under. I'm going to take the under in this one. Like I said, I think Orlando is low key a very good defensive team. Now, unfortunately, uh, some of their games you're not going to get to, and maybe you see it the way I do, but some of their games you won't be able to see that because if their scoring is struggling, I mean that's going to affect you on both ends to a certain extent. I just think man for man, they have guys that can defend, and um, I don't know if it's even going to necessarily show up in the one loss column this year, but um, they got pieces. They're just young, and confidence is important too in this, right? And here's Joey. He's got to take the Clippers at home in this one. Down to 6.5, opened as high as 7.5. I'm showing a 6 even at circa. So the move here is definitely on Orlando today, you guys. So and Ferner says, "How about the Lakers last night? Heard that was a bad pick." Yeah, right, Ferner. Hey, look, a lot of times, you and I, we were on it, Ferner, right? Were we on it? I mean, I was on it. I'm just trying to see if what you were, how you're, what you're saying about it, because if we were on it, right? Because I thought everybody was kind of on the Magic yesterday. Now, granted, there was. We were on the morning. We gave out the Lakers, and we knew that the Clippers were on a back to back. I was still saying, look, I think the Clippers, this thing's down to two or whatever. And then the news comes out that LeBron is going to be a game time decision. Well, I think we even knew that coming in. We talked about it last night. We didn't maybe say he would miss the game or whatever, but we acknowledged it. We said, look, the Lakers are playing overtime last night. You got the veteran. We don't know what's going to happen. Given the situation, I'm going to take the Lakers. Now, looking at the lineup, the line, yeah, they even went up to 3.5. So maybe some people got if they laid the four, even I saw four, so it could have got screwed that way. But looking at the way the game unfolded last night, right, Ferner? I'm the luckiest handicapper. Okay, I got lucky. I was on the Lakers, whatever. If we laid a small number, I mean, I was playing it in game late. I was like, I had a pick on the total over, and I had, uh, regret when the LeBron news was kind of coming out and all that. And even after he was ruled back in, I was feeling pretty bummed about what was going down. And, I had a premium loser in that one. It really never, it really never had a chance, even though it was on pace for maybe much of the game to get close to the number, but it just never felt like it was going to get there. It was not a great uh, vision on my part, if you will, handicap, whatever. So, all right, Jamal did say Clippers. Here's Ferner. He says, miss the boat, go over. He says, if you missed the boat on 4.5 points, this thing going over now. So ignore the move, ignore the sharps. He already liked it over. He thinks the sharps are wrong here on this one. It sounds like here, or he liked the original number. Ray says the Clippers. So yeah, Ferner and I were the ones. We were on the Lakers yesterday. We were the lucky ones, if you can call it that. So Clippers, massive injury report actually for the Clippers, but they still have Westbrook, they still have George, Kawhi there as well. So, uh, Zubac's actually game time decision. Other guy, Norman Powell also game time decision. Terrence Mann, who I think he's listed. Let me see. I'll look at it because this injury report is long. But Terrence Mann, uh, was kind of rumored to be that if the Clippers did make a deal, that he would be on the move. He's going to be out for tonight's game. So is Marcus Morris, also out for tonight's game. So definitely Batum game time decision, Bob Cove game time decision, Martin game time decision. So Clippers injuries here, no doubt. I mean, it is a lengthy list. I don't even know if they have enough players on the roster to fill this thing out. Amir Coffey probably will end up getting a start maybe tonight or lots of minutes in there. Um, uh, so I'll take the under in this one. I'm going to respect the move here in this one.